good inside.
Okay.
We're back. Let's get to a story Dr. Urrea wanted to tell us about an inyeccionista, which is...
Yes, some Latino patients go to non-traditional providers and get injections or inyecciones.
Oh, yeah.
There's a real
we're big
sad
on
story
that.
about a year and a half ago in Santana. A 2-year-old girl who had nausea, vomiting, severe diarrhea, went to a inyeccionista, got her injection, and within that day she had passed away.
Whoa.
Why? Because she was dehydrated and she needed to get fluids and she needed to see a real doctor.
So
Problem was no insurance.
So, yeah, I mean, how many stories do you hear? Family, they go, I'm going to Tijuana, what do you want? Oh, penicillin, retin-A, vitamin B12, and I mean, it's like Christmas. And get me some of that.
But a lot of people go to the emergency room even if they don't have insurance, so why do some go
in the
and some
emergency
don't?
room, they would have been able to diagnose dehydration, start an IV, give the appropriate antibiotics.
But why do so many without insurance go there anyway?
Yeah, there
what's the
are county facilities like General Hospital. There's St. Francis. There's so many hospitals. Martin Luther King Hospital. They have emergency, and urgent care.
And they
so
don't send
there is
people
no
away.
reason to have to go to these quacks or herbal.
People should know you can go to where?
Right.
Where can they go?
The county medical centers provide care for all patients.
Okay, but
regardless
they
of
got to
ability
get
to
there.
pay.
And the problem is that sometimes they're far away, right?
Ultimate Health Services also, Clínica Oscar Romero, Clínica para las Américas. You don't have to have insurance.
And there's nobody,
providers.
there's nobody there trying to find out whether you're legal or illegal or anything like that.
The problem is that patients don't recognize whether they need to go to a physician or to go to a non-traditional provider. That's a problem.
You know what I would like to add, Chris? Something very important, Doctor, with injecting drugs.
Yes.
Right now, Chris, the HIV virus, the Latino community is well known for the HIV virus. We have one of the highest rates. And by injecting drugs, you can get the HIV virus. You never know how these needles are being used, how many people have been injected with these needles. So what I would say, to people, be careful. Don't ever let anyone inject you with a needle that you are not aware what the needle has been before.
And there have been reports of the reutilization of needles.
Oh, yeah. That's a major problem of hepatitis and HIV in drug users.
Let's get into the Clínica thing real quick.
I kind of want to talk about prevention. There are free programs out there called CHTP for children. If you're under 21 years of age, you can get free physicals. And many times if you have a problem, the physician that's doing the CHTP physical can refer you to county clinics where you can get free care. And
One
so
other thing I can add, there's a program called Healthy Families.
Yes.
That's sponsored by the state of California. And for children who are from low-income families, they qualify for health care.
Okay,
benefits.
so healthy families, everybody.
Healthy families.
And now in June, I believe June or July, they're going to be implementing it for adults as well.
That's correct. Those same family members who are adults can also enroll and get insurance.
Right.
Real quick, we wanted to talk, what were you going to say something?
There's far too much spoken about preventive care when there's no real prevention. I think prevention has to be proactive. A classic example is insulin resistance, which, for instance, in a young Hispanic woman could promote breast cancer 20 years down the line. So diagnose her now and prevent her from exposing herself to the wrong kinds of hormones for 20 years instead of waiting until the cat is out of the bag or until she has diabetes. Diabetes is a very late manifestation of insulin resistance, a huge problem in Hispanics. We need to treat the process.
Leading cause of blindness in Latinos.
My grandfather experienced
some recent studies show that if you have hypertriglyceridemia at a younger age, then you're probably going to end up getting diabetes, most likely
Real quick, what is hypotriglyceride? Because our people
when your triglyceride levels are high, it's sort of like having a high cholesterol level.
Lipids
your
in
lipids,
the blood.
the fats in the blood.
Well, for example, my father had diabetes. I'm taking glucophage, a diabetes drug, even though I'm not diabetic, because it's preventive. I'm pretty certain that it's preventive against diabetes. I don't want to wait until the cat's out of the bag.
And diabetes is not going to be cured by curandero. It's not going to be cured by crystals. You need to take medications or take
and you need to change your diet. You need to get away from this Americanized Mexican diet towards a real Mexican diet that's more high in protein and less starchy.
And more fruits.
Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, more fruits and vegetables.
High fiber diets are very important, and to drink water. It's so important. People don't
get away
enough
from
water.
fast foods.
I want to talk a little bit about your training in Europe, and you said it's different from the USA in a little bit.
Well, I think the advantage that Europe has over the US is that the US has become too scientific, and yet it's not scientific at all. It's too scientific in the sense that it paints a black and white picture of the world, a kind of a digital picture of digital women, for example. I do a lot of women's care. When women are really analog, they're gray. So it waits until, say, Miss X is desperately ill, and it does not take care of her when she's just a little bit off.
Is that because everything in Western medicine is motivated by measurement and testing, and so it doesn't exist unless it can be...
Well, one of the problems is we have a disease care system and not a preventative care system. That's one of the problems, I think, with the name HMO.
Thank you for joining us. Join us next week. Please continue, Doctor.
Yeah, Health Maintenance Organization is what HMO is. Yeah. It's not really maintaining health. Unfortunately, it's a disease system where you go in for disease. We need to concentrate more on preventing disease.
HMOs are all about money, aren't they?
Unfortunately, there's an economic factor there that can't be denied.
It's very important too, also, Chris, that the community realize that they can learn, self-healing. There is different techniques. There is meditation, there is yoga, there is all kinds of stuff that you can practice. And what
For over 30 years, Telecu has built its reputation in the community on a foundation of service, empowerment, advancement, and the creation of self-sufficiency, achieving multifaceted growth through innovation and collaboration.
And we really believe that the greatest social good that you do for an individual is the creation of a full-time job so that he or she may clothe, feed, and educate their own families.
Telecu, a pioneering institution for the ages.
¿Qué podría usted comprar con $12.50? 35 millones de personas lo invierten en una membresía con AARP. Y con esos $12.50 al año, obtienen acceso a descuentos y muchos beneficios, como servicios legales y financieros, oportunidades para trabajar como voluntario y asistencia gratis en la preparación de sus impuestos. Llame, infórmese, hágase miembro y recibirá gratis un ejemplar de Segunda Juventud.